So Volskaya, definitely something that personally I think is going to play to the strengths of the Skyfoxes here, where you want to talk about where methodical play and good setups of team fights work in your favor. It's Assault. It's basically what the entire game mode is based around. So, from the other side, we're going to see big improvements. Brett, not going Sombra. Actually, just going to go back to
No,
the
they're very
so.
much, Paradigm is very much set on a 3-3 setup, I think. So I hope, and they have Vibrant on the Zen now, so I really hope they decide to just pressure the front line of Skyfoxes very heavily here.
They have to pressure the front line in particular. One good Bionade eat, and you're good to go. You eat that Bionade, you roll in, you have a huge advantage. But it all comes down to this. We look at where Lastro is. He's holding on, under pressure, 46 HP, lands the sleep, and Bionades out Hope and Natrix at the same time.
That was quite a good play from Lastro, I have to say. And they had the right idea, though. That was the right idea from Paradigm. They tried to be very aggressive. They kept going. And even when Hope was slept, I think they actually just should have kept walking forward. They should not show any fear when you're playing this comp. You cannot give any leeway to Buds in your backline. You don't have to worry about anything else. You have the superior damage. Especially if you're able to get EMP before, you just need to be very aggressive.
Guess what? Buds has EMP. So even if Lastro doesn't do that much here, Buds, this is gonna be a perfect EMP. Goes in, hits everyone. That's everyone gone. You're done.
That is everyone, followed up by the nades from Lastro. And, I want to harken back a little bit to our first match of Chicken Contenders versus Underwater Squad, and they were running the Ana Sombra a little bit too as well. And that is the exact stuff you want to see. You want your Ana to be far up enough, your backline to be up far enough that when the EMP goes out, especially when it gets to the D.Va, the nade is flying through the air and is hitting them almost, not necessarily simultaneously, but very, very, very soon after. And that is what they did. Lastro's gonna have nano. This is a really good position for Skyfox.
He just went for the ultimate, the super high up nade. Okay, no, it's not gonna hit. That would have been the full on just max height. But no, we're gonna have a rally up, nano boost in reserve. Remix gonna get ready to go in here in just a moment. But they back it up a little bit. Now they grab, now they nano. Remix moves in. Shadow from the other side does not connect. Lastro gets into the fray, drops him out, and I think it might have been Eden there. So
yeah, Brett did a good play. He ate the nade.
Yeah, so it is Eden, there is a chance, but EMP coming out from Buds to the back line, that should be the dagger.
That was another EMP in that fight. He just used EMP before, ZP. He literally just used EMP. That was extremely quick, and that is the value you want to be seeing out of Sombra. That you need, if you're getting EMPs back to back, it's almost hopeless for Goats unless you're hitting great trances or forcing out, the translocate early from the Sombra before you can't get position. And if Buds is building these so fast, it's really tough for Paradigm to get any sort of advantage. Now Skyfoxes are going to have the beat. They'll have grab soon along with rally. This is at least how Brett's time to shine because they have that combo coming up.
Yeah, and they just taxied Lastro back, so Lastro will see if he can, go to the wall once more. Matt can have a really nicely timed barrier here, so there are ways that Skyfoxes gets this fight. Gravga come out here from Lisao. Lastro waiting, not using anything just yet, buying his time, lands it right in the middle, but Brett self-destruct, buys some room. Not enough though. It's still all the cleanup going for Skyfoxes, and look towards Buds, getting real close to another EMP.
That was an absolutely huge counter grab, by the way. They were playing, Skyfoxes recognized they were looking for the grab combo, so they played split, only let their front line get caught. So even despite them getting caught in that grab, they just split around. FaZe does the counter grab afterwards, and then they set up the anti-nade because they're, the D.Va bomb was out, so he wasn't in mech, and they just cleaned up from there.
Buds is gonna have EMP. And if they go the same route they did before, it's gonna be an easy EMP. They've made this just almost childishly easy for Buds to set up. So, okay, they're going the other direction. Everyone's all together though. Buds just gets to roll forward. He gets everyone but the Zen, but there's no Transcendence. Natrix is down immediately. It's a Rhyme for Rhyme trade. Still winnable. And that's gonna be a Nano Zarya. FaZe getting the power, but while he's doing that, Lisao's already taken down 2. Skyfoxes a little bit discombobulated there.
Finally, the focus fire for Paradigm coming into play. The fight breaks down. They had the Shatter out, and they just used the Discord Orb to just put too much damage to where even if Lastro was still alive, they don't have enough heals. It's, Ana heals will not outstrip a Trance. Trance will always do more healing. So really good job from Paradigm finally just getting being aggressive enough to set up the Shatter and just focus fire as the fight broke down. And now this is sort of their chance.
It is absolutely their chance. They're going to open up the barrier. It was a little bit early. They're trying to dive in the remix. They get caught by the grab. Grab, nicely timed here by FaZe. Going to delay things. Force out the Transcendence where I don't even think they were ready to fall through. So a lot of resources now done for Paradigm as they try and move in. Grab, though, could be used by Lisao. Built up another. Natrix is there in the fall through. And suddenly Paradigm with momentum. Diving deeply into Skyfox's territory. This could be it.
So much better from Paradigm there. They use their ult so aggressively, recognizing they don't have to worry about the trance. They don't have to worry about EMP being up just yet. They catch them in the grab post-fight, even despite the nade. Shatters up for Natrix, gonna get Lasher down. He's like, yeah, you're not gonna be throwing that nade today, buddy. And now they're just cleaning up on point.
A Shatter with extreme prejudice. Bud's gonna hop in over the top of EMP. Gets the Zenyatta, but that's about the only thing he was gonna get there. Set up the Earth Shatter, but problem is, not enough players left, but hang on, emergency Hammond delay. It's good delay coming from the Skyfoxes for the record. This could have been over another 30 seconds ago, and they're buying every little bit of time. Still though, 2 minutes, 47 seconds left for Paradigm, but pretty good recovery, given how things began.
Yeah, we touched about on the beginning, but Paradigm seems to be recognizing, like, why just plays in. Just plays in and run over the front line. Even if the exchanges aren't always great for you, Discord Orb and Trance gives you just so much more value than Ana does generally. The only way the Ana is paying off is if you get great nades. And even with great nades, if you're losing 2 people early in the fight, just because you just don't have that shield pressure, that damage, that focus fire, then it's still not worth it.
Yeah. So I do think the adjustment to your point that they've made has been pretty good in swapping, just having the Zen, but overall, that last burst notwithstanding, that's kind of one of those weird things in assault modes where you can break through after getting dominated for a while and end up with a quick time. I would say about 90% of that was dominated by Skyfoxes. They just, it was one really nice run by Paradigm towards the end. The challenge for Paradigm is Paradigm's going to need to put that into a bottle and have that be their standard of play from here on out. Because otherwise...
they have to be much more consistent. I agree.
Yeah. Otherwise, it's still Skyfox's series to lose.
But it's, I like seeing Paradigm make the adjustments, and they recognize what was going wrong and what they needed to swap. Hopefully, I'm hoping that's why they did it, rather than just a rage quit, well, Ana's not working, let's go Zen. I'm hoping they realized, like, why the swap was the right reason. And this is just the thing they needed to do. So, eventually, they're going to force Lastro, if he just doesn't keep getting any value, they'll force Lastro off that Ana onto the Zen, because it is just the superior support, as long as you're playing proper.
I mean, Lastro right now, I think his job in the Overwatch universe is to expose divas and be like, if you can't play diva at a certain level, you don't get to get on this ride, you just lose.
And also, we should point out, Brett was doing a much better job of eating the nades too. Partially because he was having more room to work with because they're being a lot more aggressive for Paradigm. Here we see Vibrant getting the early damage onto Mac, and that's going to be a quick person down, so they're just going to chase.
Yeah. It's a quick reversal. Meta Skyfoxes is going, we don't want to be a part of this fight anymore. Lastro going, guys, we can be friends, right? You don't have to keep chasing me down. And does manage to get away.
And now this is going to be very much predicated upon how much value can Buds get from... He has to get EMP very quickly because he has to outstrip Vibrant's Trance. And in addition to that, he's beginning to lots of value from those EMPs. So we're once again going to be watching a lot of Sombra and seeing how Sombra fits into the comp.
Skyfox is going to be going again, set back by the early pickoff. A good defense so far here from Paradigm. And Skyfoxes right now just probing for weakness, and the defense, even though they could dive in, they're not diving in. They're letting Skyfoxes set up right now, which is very much the advantage Skyfoxes. Oh, there it is. They get the nade on Natrix, but heavy defense coming in there. They protect him during that.
I mean, they're not able to pressure Natrix hard enough for Skyfoxes because the Remix is losing the shield war. They're just losing the shield war to that Discord orb.
Well, they get stuck in the grab right here and now. Lastro gonna invest the nano boost there. They're looking to win this fight, and it might be a thing. Mac, barriers up. He could drop the beat right here and now. Graviton gonna be coming in here from the offense. They get Natrix, Remix out of the fight. Both teams down a Reinhardt. Now you look to Mac, gonna drop the beat. Hits on everyone. And this is a good opportunity for the Skyfoxes, but counter beat from the other side. Now it flips the other way, and the Skyfoxes outgunned.
And also getting phased with that Diva Bomb too, Brett, that was a huge pick, but that EMP came out too early for Buds. Buds dropped the EMP when there were still about 2 seconds left of the trance, which means they couldn't follow up at all. They had already used the anti-nade earlier as well, so they weren't able to get any antis during the trance. So then the fight just broke down in favor of Paradigm because Chop was going to be able to pretty much bunny hop that support ult, use the Lucy ult afterwards. So too early of a transfer from Buds. And remember, that's the win condition. Like we talked about, ZP, the EMP is the win condition for Skyfox.
It is a win condition, even though it's easy to forget sometimes. Early Graviton coming in, Remix isolated. Bubble goes on him, but he gets taken for a ride. Remix likely going to be taken out here. He is down in early Reinhardt. Shatter coming in just to clean up. Doesn't really get as much as Natrix could have hoped for, but Buds able to deal with Brett on the backhand side. Actually still 5-on-5. Skyfoxes, the opportunity to come back in. Bionade going to hit multiple people in the back, and here come the Skyfoxes. Nano Boost going to be coming on in, and this is going to get phased all the way to a Graviton for the next point.
This will they'll definitely gonna have the Graviton and the EMP. So this next fight, there are no ults up. No ults at all up for Paradigm. So this is entirely dependent on Paradigm getting that trance. Vibrant has 80%. He must build trance and he must not get caught by this EMP. But if Skyfoxes are fast enough, they don't even have to worry about it. They can just go for the grab on the front line, EMP, and good enough frags to where that will be the fight.
Vibrant needs to chunk someone's secondary fire right now, or they're not going to have that response. Well, here we go. They're going on in.
They are.
Phase from the back, waiting for the grab. EMP already used. Lee Sao down. Skyfoxes, big advantage here. Brett nowhere to go. Just going to get microwaved out of it. The grab's still in reserve. And guess what? That Transcendence got used without. They're just going to use the grab as cleanup when you really got to get rid of a Vegeta, I suppose.
That was a tragic trance, ZP. He got the trance and tried to pop it way too late. Isn't able to save Natrix and is not able to save Brett. He should have just waited for his team to respawn. You can give up ticks and use the trance afterwards. Chop was alive to get him out, but he used the trance hoping that he could save his team. Don't be afraid to give up ticks, and now it's just a cleanup fight. This is just a cleanup fight for Skyfoxes. They're just gonna 1v1 focus each target down.
Let's go ahead and fight with prejudice is what we're seeing here. Skyfoxes gonna finish it out there, and we'll take a look at the time here as we go in the extra rounds. But again, it's been more of a feeling of dominance for Skyfoxes, even though that was a pretty invigorating look for the defense of Paradigm there relative to before, where Lastro didn't quite get everything he wanted. They got the better of some of the ult engages back and forth, so a little bit more even, but still a ways to go.
Yeah, they're not going to win. They won't win the match off of that performance. It'll be more even, but they won't win. So I would like to see Paradigm have still a very successful offense here and just look to pretty much continuing iron out, just continue doing the things they're doing right, and just making sure they're just getting unforced errors pretty much. Like on that first fight, Brett gets demeched. He was a little bit too aggressive, and then they were just able to set up the nade and just win the fight from there. That last fight, Vibrant is unable to get the trance onto the people he needed, and rather than just waiting for the recontest, giving up some ticks, he just a little bit foolhardily just pops the Q and is hoping to save his team in a hero moment, but it wasn't worth. It was just better just wait for the recontest. So looking better for Paradigm, like you said, but have to just fix some of these issues.
I mean, Paradigm, they also might just be a bit outmatched here with how strong Skyfoxes looked, where, we do have to have a few Fs in chat here because Lastro is playing so well that approximately 300 support players were cut from the Skyfoxes. They only need Lastro now.
Yeah, it was a really big transmutation there. They were able to, pretty much put 300 support players into one to get Lastro. That was an interesting exchange. The CSGO nade is coming out. Will it hit anyone?
Well, it goes up over the top. We're kind of way with bated breath right now. No, but Vibrant gonna get taken down by Buds in the back. Now the Bionade is up. Gonna get the Lucian back. And okay, that's interesting. Remix just gets taken on a ride there by Natrix to the other side. But Skyfoxes now still in control.
As long as they're able to regroup fast enough for Paradigm, this is actually very good for them. They can get point presence because their phase will be back. He's getting taxied by Mac. He will be back in time, but they can't lose Vibrant, and they just have to come to the point extremely quickly because it's essentially down 3 right now for Skyfoxes because Buds has no frontline presence.
Oh, well, he's going for the Skynade once more, and this one actually might hit. This is going to be real dangerous. If it does hit, comes up back, hits 2! So nice on the set, but guess what? He's had another Bionade. Now coming right back up, drops it, hits Natrix. They're down attitude, but they've been without healing for so long. When you see 3 people in the purple, it is bad as Remix just rolls forward and gets a cleanup. Baby Diva taking a snooze for that.
Very good shatter for Remix as well. He was just able to keep people down. Even though the fight was looking kind of grim for them, they just couldn't clean up. But EMP, Nano, and the rally up for Skyfoxes, but this is still looking solid for Paradigm because they're gonna have the trance. They're gonna have a rally of their own soon, so they have a choice to make. Do they commit to this fight, hoping that Vibrant will get a solid enough trance to just counter the EMP, make sure they don't get anti-nated, of course, or do they just tank a fight, get support, get ults out, and then take the next?
So Skyfox in a good spot here. Early EMP hits just about everyone, and yeah, easy cleanup. This is brutal in setup, and also when you're up against a Sombra, I don't know if you should just be like running all packed together in that corner. It is not worked out well.
No, you should not. Vibrant should be Vibrant and Chopped should both be more split, if anything. They need to be playing a lot more staggered to where if they EMP, they have to choose to EMP the front line or the back line, and it should be very difficult. So they're not playing nearly split enough, but because that EMP and the Nano came out so fast, there's no combo up for Skyfoxes, and they still have transfer Paradigm, so this is their fight to win.
Final 30 seconds here. Final attempt for Paradigm, looking to get in on point A. Grab can be successful. Remix, nowhere to go. Out of the fight immediately. 6-on-5 advantage. FaZe holding on to Grab on the other side. Gonna get some takers here. Remix, though, not here to offer damage. Vibrant instead gonna be healing everyone back up. Attitude is down. The front line is decimated. And Paradigm will get one crack at point B.
However, they have one crack at point B with a Diva Bomb and a Beat versus an EMP Shatter. So this is really, Lee Sao is going to be extremely important along with Chop, because Chop can't get caught in EMP because he has to have the beat up, and Lee Sao has to have these bubbles to make sure Natrix does not lose his shield, or at least he's able to block part of the Shatter. And obviously Brett can play role because the Diva Bomb can be must be used as a healing ult.
They're just going to get EMP'd. This is the actual, they use the early self-destruct, which is nice. It's going to prevent some of the fall through. Sound Barrier comes in. Actually, EMP doesn't work out nearly as well. Bud's lucky to leave with his life. Still opportunity here for the offense.
Vibrant can get trans here. Vibrant can get trans here. This is a winnable fight for Paradigm.
Yeah, they got them split up. Remix in a really rough spot. Needs to rotate back to the rest of his team. They're pressuring the point. We're in overtime. Natrix, though, in trouble. Gonna fall. Lastro, though, down. Grab from the defense. They're looking for the fall through. They're gonna get it. Remix and Attitude. The cleanup through at the very end. There will be no tick on point B.
So close, but a really good try. A really good try for Paradigm. They use the Diva Bomb early just to split so they don't get all caught by the EMP, the Shatter that comes out. So they use the Diva Bomb just to try to split some of the focus. Chopped hid well with the beat, but they had to just get some support ults up before the next fight because FaZe is going to have that grab. So good attempt for Paradigm, and they can burst hold, but it'll be really tough with 4 minutes. And after seeing some of their early defenses, it's possible.
Definitely is, but obviously going in here, huge advantage to the Skyfoxes, where you think about what we saw to begin with. They did get gummed up a little bit on point A, but you take a look, 4 minutes, 4 seconds, they have slightly more time than the norm to go through and get that for at least a tie, which, by the way, would give them the series win as they go for here. So the only way of still keeping this in contest for Paradigm is they need the first point hold. Gonna be easier said than done.
Much easier said than done, because Skyfoxes has looked extremely in control of the tempo of the match. Their play has looked pretty stellar, and Paradigm's been playing catch up very much in terms of the team play. So they did have a solid first hold on their first defense. So I think it's possible, but they have to make sure to just use their advantages wisely.
Alrighty, so we're gonna get into it here. Skyfoxes looking to end the series in a relatively undramatic fashion. Of course, they take full Sky here. That's going to be it. They'll be up 3-0. See if Paradigm can make it interesting. Buds going forward. Remember, if they even just get this first point, that's over. They have the series.
Yeah, I mean, that is the series, because even though it's not going to be like a win necessarily for Skyfoxes, the map score, but that is a win in terms of overall series score. Right now, both teams just exchanging bubbles.
Oh, nice!
Lots of damage coming out. Good
But
nade.
Bud just got caught by Hope. Hope was able to whip shot him through invisibility, predicted it. So Buds hasn't gotten a whole lot done here so far. Skyfoxes, though, again, the longer they can wait here, the better it is for an Onacep, because eventually you're going to get hit by a good nade or hack, as Buds is getting very heavily pressured by Hope.
Paradigm doing a good job of pressuring Buds, making sure he can't get a lot of poke, because the longer it takes for him to poke and get that EMP, the better it is for Paradigm, so they can have their support ults up.
Well, now they're going to go up to the high ground, giving Lastro a slightly better vantage point here. Make it a little bit harder for the defense to simply roll into them the way that they would like. So they have given up a lot of room, more so than they probably should have here. But now they're going to drop back on down, and the offense thinking they have an opportunity here.
But Buds, I mean, he's getting pressured so much. He's still only 50% on the EMP. Vibrant is going to have the trans chop 60% on beat. Now, will we be able to get anything out of value from the Nano?
Well, they're going to Nano Boost in, but it's just going to be answered by a Transcendence here. It's actually not the ideal situation. Early Shatter coming on in. Remix going to get Nano.
Oh, FaZe
Lee Sao got caught! Lee Sao getting caught there in the end. Attitude out of it. Here comes Skyfoxes dropping the barrier. Fast break opportunity. Nice bio nade. That's two. The Shatter from Remix going to be sealing it. And this is going to be the point and the series for Skyfoxes, but they'd like to see if they can make it a clean map win.
That was huge for FaZe. They were able to just get it right before Lee Sao was hacked. He wasn't able to bubble, so FaZe jumps into the trance, trying to block the healing while Lee Sao is so low, and just a little bit of healing blocked on top of the focus fire onto Lee Sao means he went down. So really huge brain play from FaZe. Really good coordination from Skyfoxes. And now, I mean, they've technically won the series, but they would like to have the map win.
Well, Lee Sao, I'm not going to waste any time. Immediately aggro grabbing here, and hey, it works out. There wasn't a response on the other side, so Quick, easy, and done.
And that's going to be that. But they did use Grav, and they will not have Trance. So really, it's on Paradigm here to just make as little mistakes as possible, because this is just a time. This is just their backs against the wall. Time is on the clock, and Skyfoxes are just going to look to build up their combo with FaZe, look up to build the EMP, and hopefully they just outbuild Vibrant.
Well, I'd love to see more standard just Bash Shatter combo here. It feels like Natrix and Hope together have been a little bit quiet as a combo. This would be the time, if any, to just be efficient as you go forward here. But Natrix can be holding a little bit further back. There's the Bash, but the Shatter, late. It's late. It's not in time to get the remix the way they want, but they still find Mac. So it might be good enough.
They got Mac down. They got Mac down on the edges, which is, you know, you wished it, and there it was, ZP. You wished it into existence. Remix now just swinging, getting some ult charge. So it did only use one ult. It was the Bash Shatter too, which is a solid combo. And, you know, I agree with you a lot, ZP. The Bash Shatter should have been used a lot more for the rest of Paradigm, because since there's no Diva, your shield pressure is so much stronger, so you can force the bubbles a lot quicker. And remember, we are in the bash nerf, I guess, so you can't just bash through the shield anymore. So it's a little bit harder to set up, but it is still comp advantage, just like it's favored towards Paradigm getting that set up.
Yeah, I mean, it's not just the auto set that was, but it's still very, you know, there are opportunities to go for it, and I think sometimes teams forget that. Natrix, though, holding on to the Shatter. Offense looking to put this one away. Shatter gonna connect. 3 on the ground in the back, and nope, Natrix now under pressure. Grav coming in here from the offense. Bud's gonna drop the EMP, and that is more than enough. The Bionade, just the extra on top. Bear coming in towards the very end here from Chops, but lethal damage has likely been done.
Yeah, that should be it. It's just gonna be cleanup now, because there's no ults. There's gonna be Lee Sao coming out with a grab, but even if he gets a grab off, there's no one to clean up. And this should be just cleanup now for Skyfoxes.
Skyfoxes looking to put this one away. The clean 3-0, and the cleanup is all there. The rare sighting of Doomfist, who has basically been forcibly ejected from the meta, still sometimes comes in for emergency situations, but everything going the Skyfoxes' way, just about there, and that is going to be it.
Well, there we go. That's going to be the series for Skyfoxes. Now, they are still playing one map, because it is a 4-map series like OWL, like Contenders, because map score matters, especially. You know, we talked about how it matters all the time, but for Trials, I think it's almost even important, because these teams are somewhat evenly, you know, we see a lot of distribution, a lot of skill distribution, but I think the teams have a lot of talent on them, and you're all trying to make your way into Contenders. And so map score can be a really big difference.
Absolutely can be. And look, every map does matter. And from the Skyfoxes standpoint, even though they've looked pretty darn good so far, just you pile on, right? You put in your max effort as much as possible. But of course, speaking on the other end for Paradigm, for them, the best they can do is picking up a map here, have something to look forward to as Trials does commence. But it's been a tough go. Skyfoxes has looked pretty dramatically improved here so far.
They have. I think these additions to the roster have definitely, you know, I've doubted them. We both doubted them, ZP. Now, granted, I still think they have a lot to prove in my eyes, because they have beaten 2 teams that so far haven't seemed like they've been pulling, for me at least, towards the top of the Trials leaderboard. Like it's phase 2, and now we're looking at obviously Paradigm. So I don't necessarily rate the performances. They just don't have enough data for me to really decide if I think Skyfoxes is actually that massively improved. But considering they're so far ahead, apparently, in front of these 2 teams, which might be sitting towards the lower of the bracket potentially, I think that's a good sign for them.
Yeah, I mean, you bring up a very relevant point here, which is that Paradigm is not Fusion University, so to speak.
No, they're not.
So there is definitely a difference in gameplay to be expected here, right? You don't have Alarm on the other side, the Man-Eater, as you were the challenge some of the players on Skyfoxes. But, you know, to the very least, you say, hey, the most that we can expect from them right now is to win their games, and they're doing that. So it is a brighter world for Skyfoxes, and should they make their way back into Contenders, we'll see if they're able to keep up that level of success. But we do have one final match, or one final map, I should say, and
one player swap. The player swap as well. Clone Man 16 coming in for Remix. We have our boy, our previously of XL2 Gaming, and now he's here.
Skyfoxes.
A lot of Sky. You know, they're continuing that tradition of having a decent amount of subs. Now, I don't think the amount of subs they have now is still at all comparable to the subs they had the previous season in Contenders. So, I think they've done some downsizing done a little bit of scaling back in that regard.
Yeah, it's not quite the insane. We might have to retire the 700-man roster and Rising meme that we carried on with for so long. Because, again, I think there's certain players that they're probably not going to be rotating out ever. And Lastro and Mac and Buds definitely seem to be in that group here so far. We're just like, no, I don't think they're going to be changing it. It doesn't seem super likely.
A really solid core to build around for sure. And I think it's been proven. And I do like as well, something that we've talked about is the meta is relatively fresh. Now, obviously, there's still the carryover meta and like what teams are comfortable running and some of the obvious strengths of that 3-3 composition. So it's tough to necessarily make huge swaps, but I do like this. I actually do like the composition of the Ana Sombra that we've seen Skyfoxes run a lot, pretty effectively, because it shows that there are ways to play a little bit differently around that. Because with that Diva nerf, you're able to set up your nades a lot more heavily. Also with the EMP, with the hacks, you're able to set up your nades for your combos. It's just like it's a win condition in your grav. So it does offer a different playstyle and a different way to play, but it is still much harder to achieve and a little bit less straightforward than the Zen playstyle of the 3-3, where you just run over the front line and just have so much damage and trance.
Yeah, and more than anything else for me is that I like the Sombra Ana setup, if for nothing else. The key words there are win conditions. And you're just adding an extra win condition beyond get pummeled and wait for EMP. So it's just good to have extra options, as Clone Man is just, he's enraptured with you in chat right now.
Yeah, I'm just telling him, since he doesn't remember my first name and I remember his, I'm going to make him look really bad this map.
Usually it's people that don't remember your last name.
Yeah, usually they don't remember the last name, that's true, but now Clone Man's going to feel my wrath, because I remember his first name, buddy. I saw you were at board game night, so SMH to Clone Man, but be rolling out here. Paradigm running the double sniper setup with the Orisa, so a pretty standard Junkertown setup.
And Bud's immediately going for load on the other side, forces the Mercy to come on over. Bud's a bit in danger, though. I'm not sure if that Translocate's going to get him out in time. 36 HP, just jumping for his life. Meanwhile, Lastro got picked. Vibrant in the support v support gameplay, able to take down the threat in Lastro. So Skyfoxes, giving up quite a bit of room here.
This is also one of the best possible things that could have happened for Paradigm, because if you win the fight early with double sniper, you just have so much more room to work with, and the ground that's going to have to be covered by Skyfoxes against this double sniper, against that Zen, there's so much damage just worried to pick up. But here comes Skyfoxes pressuring point, pressuring Natrix in particular so hard.
Bud solo pickoff on the Vibrant. Vibrant had no hope.
Yeah,
and he gets twofer. Buds with 2 unassisted pickoffs. Oh boy, yeah, make it 3. It's gonna be 4. Buds just ruined them. That was a full Sombra carry coming in from Buds.
And that was really Paradigm not recognizing the danger they were in of the Sombra. They were playing too split. Vibrant was playing too far away from Chopped, so he wasn't able to get healed in time, wasn't able to get peeled in time. And then Lisao just sort of didn't, I guess maybe Vibrant didn't make the call up, because Lisao just sat on that platform and just got shot in the back of the head repeatedly, because Buds was just right there.
Coming out, hits everyone but Matrix. And Skyfoxes, they just move in. It's like, you take a look, it's like, oh, we EMP'd 5 people. What should we do? Win the team fight. Pretty simple. And he sees the damage Zenyatta on the top, just gonna finish it off for good measure.
And now this is really good for Skyfoxes, because they can hold the doors. They're about to have, they have Grab, they have Shadow, but they're about to have the Nano as well. And they're just gonna be looked to be extremely aggressive onto Paradigm wherever they rotate, because they recognize Vibrant will not have anything to counter them yet.
Not only that, but you take a look, FaZe should have a pretty easy Graviton to set up right now, as long as he doesn't beat it in the Brett. He's waiting for the opportunity, keep an eye. Shatter get come down, makes it so easy to grab, picks up so many in the back line, and Clone Man there in the follow-through. Really
smart usage of ults there, like we talked about. They just used the Shatter to put Brett on the ground, which means there's no Matrix, so it's just a free grab. It was literally just a free grab. Now maybe they had to use 3 ults for that. They used Nano, Shatter, and they used Grav. But not good, not bad at all, considering how much value, how much time they burned off the clock. Buds getting close to another EMP. So Paradigm, since they're close to this trance, this should really be their time to try to make something happen.
Brett can get hacked early on in the fight. Skyfox is just holding back a little bit, rallies up, and more importantly, Buds has built up the EMP, drops on in, but nice transcends from Vibrant, comes right before, saw it happening, but the nade, yeah, exactly, it's not going to save hope, so the Transcendence is not enough for Sanana at times. You still have to deal with the nade.
You do still have to deal with the nade. I was talking about this earlier in the map. It's that when you use EMP, you're setting up a win condition despite the trance. The trance is just one part of it, because you have to be making sure that your D.Va is still able to nade, or maybe your Zarya has bubbles, because they just EMP'd, no D.Va Matrix, and then despite the trance, there's a nade out. So that's 3 kills. It's a really good job for Skyfox.
Matrix going for the sneaky shadow behind the payload, knocks down one, gets stunned in turn. Heavy aggression coming in from Paradigm, a last gasp if you will, but one that is working out well. A cornered animal taking down 2.
And Vibrant making the swap to Ana as well, so instead, they're not really going to be relying nearly as much. He did get a solid nade himself in that fight. They're not going to be relying nearly as much on that Zit presence, on that trans being up. They're really just going to hope that they're going to win the fights, win the front line in particular, with their D.Va, rather than worrying about the Zit presence, because it just didn't have much value so far.
Well, final 18 seconds, Lisa with the answer here at the very end, if they can actually hit it. They should be able to get through point A, but we'll see what the defense has in store. Blastro holding on to the nano boost. Gonna drop it on Remix immediately. Barrier invested. Lisa grab. Now it's gone. And Paradigm not quite winning this here yet. In fact, Hope overextended. The front line is down, and the defense of Skyfoxes rolling back on out. They're now likely to hold this right before point A.
That hack was so big from Buds, by the way. They set up the grab. They're only able to get Cloneman. Lisa only gets Cloneman, but they invest both the nano and the beat to keep Cloneman alive in the grab. There's no Zin. They just burn him down despite him being antied, and then Chop gets hacked by Buds. Not an EMP, just a regular hack, and it prevents the beat from going off, so he's unable to save Hope. He's unable to keep anyone else alive. So really huge hack from Buds, and that setup in this portal is going into Cloneman to keep him up there.
Really just surgical play all around coming in from the Skyfoxes. Again, flashes of hopes here and there from Paradigm, but really, if you're looking at the quality of Overwatch play, this has been a mismatch all series long, I would say, where, again, I think there's a few shining rays of light where you could say, okay, you've sort of shown that at times you could do this, but new Skyfoxes roster just very, very strong.
Skyfoxes won a map. Crab.
They've won more than a map.
Won more than a map. Now they're going to be about to win. They've won 2 series now. They're about to win 2. Will this be their second 4-0, I believe? This might be their... No, I think they 3-1 phase 2. It wasn't a 4-0. So, still pretty impressive. Pretty impressive. You know what? I'm gonna check for you right now, actually. Don't you worry, stream. Don't you worry. They 3-1. They 3-1.
Okay.
That's what it was. So, it was still much bigger turnaround than their previous contender season, and I agree with you. DZP, they've shown they're pretty much a step above so far Paradigm in terms of their coordination, their individual play, even while changing out tanks. I mean, they've been changing out that main tank.
Yeah, I mean, I think Cloneman, of course, is someone that also has had a pretty good history of play, and they just want to make sure is Remix the guy for us, or do we go Cloneman? They haven't decided on that, but certain rules, like we've said, they've likely decided on. Early hack coming on the last round, not going to be able to throw a bio nade there. Instead, just gets his own revenge, goes, oh, I can't use my abilities. I DPS now.
Yeah, he's just going to get picked up there, but it seems like the rest of Paradigm are still just fighting on this right side. They dropped the GG in the chat a little earlier, so they're having a solid defense. I mean, it's a little bit uncoordinated from both sides. I don't think either side, they're getting a little silly is the term I would use. Silly. Maybe the series is over, so maybe they're not worrying quite as much about the map score, but they should.
They absolutely should. I mean, look, you don't see first point holds on.
Oh, those shatters actually canceled my man as well.
There's a really big Bionade in the middle of it, though, so even with that, Matrix in bit trouble. Finally, Bionade wears off. He's going to get healed back up, and it's been scrappy, but not bad for Paradigm so far.
You know, Paradigm, I thought they weren't taking quite as seriously, but it looks like they have a renewed hold here. They're being very aggressive. They canceled that shatter from Clone Man, and now they're still holding on the doors, which will give them enough time to take another fight. Vibrant has Nano, Hope has the grab, so this is really good, actually, for Paradigm in this hold.
I could use some shield.
Skyfoxes right now, they do have time on their side, 2 minutes and 45 seconds. Hope can open up here with the grab. We're looking for Clone Man here once more. Shatter, though, going to be coming in. Is going to be enough? No, not quite. Vibrant, though, on the cleanup with the nano boost. 4-on-4 right now, and yet the offense, when the dust has settled, very messy, they end up ahead.
Coleman just doing so much damage while nanoed there. They did invest the EMP, though, for Skyfoxes, so they won't have it up. Least out 80% to his. We've won this maybe a tiny bit slowly, but this is still a really good position for Paradigm to hold as long as they get the EMP.
Well, very nice decloak there. FaZe able to force the Sombra back, gonna really extend the time it's gonna take to get any good setup here. Meanwhile, holding on to the grab, just lobs it on in. 3 are there. Clement says, I want to get on this. They start swinging the hammer, drops the shatter for good measure. And why not? They win this fight. They're gonna take the map. They do just that. Lee Sao take it down from downtown for the final Zarya shot. And that's gonna be it. Skyfoxes dominant, 4-0.
That was quite dominant. And that was just, I mean, they just saw at the end there weren't portals up for Paradigm, so they just dropped the grab. And that's going to be that. They just swing, clean up. So really dominant showing for Skyfoxes. Really good showing. They were in control. That's a 4-0, and Skyfoxes, they're looking good.
Yeah, really nothing to complain about here with how they played. And right now, I feel like this is the destination to go if you want to play Reinhardt, because with support play being as good as in the back with Buds, seemingly getting a good handle on Sombra nowadays, playing Rein for this team, they're going to make you look good. They will just, you will be your best Reinhardt. You will live your best life.
And well, it also helps when you're Cloman. You know, he's pretty good. You know, he's, you know, worked his way up through the path to pro. I'm glad to see it's where he, you know, it's just, he's been doing a great job. You know, if only an academy team would pick him up, ZP, is what I have to say. If only there was just an academy team that would sign Clone Man.
Wow, you're giving a lot of love to a guy that doesn't even know your first name.
I know.
Has purposely, maliciously forgotten it.
Despite that, you know, I just wish there could have been an academy team, if only, but just not possible.
Well, he should have considered moving, or like setting his residency to New York. That's all I'm gonna say.
Yeah, he should have just.
He had an option.
He had the option to just move to New York. Lol, just forehead, live in New York.
Yeah, exactly. The option was there, but all in all, interesting day here for Contenders Trials. Of course, these teams looking to get on in, where, don't forget, NA Contenders is expanded for the next season. There'll be NA West, NA East, 2 separate divisions, so we got more room for teams here, and these teams have been very much fighting to get one of those spots.
They are fighting, and there's, you know, decent amount of spots up for grabs, because like you said, these 8 teams in Trials, 5 of them go to Contenders, so everyone's sort of vying for their spot. They're trying to get into the new expansion. And obviously make a showing as well for academy teams, because academy teams are always searching for talent. And even Overwatch League teams, because many people do get signed directly from, not many, but a few have been signed directly from the open division or just the Contenders level. So it's definitely possible. That's sort of the whole pipeline in place. So everyone wants to do well here. And I think that's, you know, I was pretty happy with the games today. I think they went really well for both us and Jaws and Leg Day.
Oh, no doubt. And I mean, truth be told, the only scary thing for Skyfoxes here is that I hope they have a good, you know, pocketbook in reserve, because one phenomenon that we see pretty often is that are you doing really well on a team that is not signed to a traditional academy team? Guess what? They might bring out their pocketbook and sign you. And I got news for you. Like, Lastro has been so good for the Skyfoxes here, and even what we saw here, if he got picked up by a different academy team before the start of the next season of Contenders, wouldn't surprise me.
No, it would not surprise me at all either. I mean, there's a lot of talent on that Skyfox roster. I mean, there's a lot of talent that's coming through anyways, that's coming through the open division into the Trials, moving to Contenders. So that's one of the benefits of the expansion for both East and West for NA Contenders next season, is that we're getting to see just a lot more people be able to put up on the bigger stage and just watch their play.
All right, guys. Well, that's going to do it for us today. Still a lot more to go till our final Contenders are set up for next season. Hopefully you guys will join us on our next broadcast, but that's going to do it for us here today. We'll see ya, and please join us next time.